Right, well, my name's Myles. I am Danny's flatmate who's got this brand new book out. Since I'm his flatmate, it's probably best for me to ask the questions that no one else is asking. Really hellish stuff. No.
Wow, how did you rope me into this?
Yeah, so it'll be fine. So first off, the book goes through, your whole life pretty much to now.
Yeah.
So we'll start off near the beginning.
Okay.
So why were you such a little shit in school?
For me, it was just about hanging out with friends, really.
Yeah.
That's all I think about when I think back to school. But
So did you cause any issues?
of course, it was too much free time in school as well. Like that was good. I really enjoyed it. I mean, I did obviously do some kind of work in there. I wasn't
Did you?
complete that. Yeah, I know. Well, maybe you can't tell by my writing, but yeah.
It's actually, well, that's another thing. Would you think now,
well, exactly.
looking back,
I
would
would
your
never-
teachers doubt a book being written by yours truly?
Oh yeah, for sure. I wouldn't. I mean, it'd be funny to talk to some of my English teachers about it, but it's actually the first book I've ever read, so cover to cover.
So-
It's my own book.
Well, that's a good start.
Yeah.
Well, see,
but-
so in this book,
Mhm.
what is an instance of you getting in trouble at school?
Oh yeah, that was in primary school. Yeah, of course, bringing machete into school. So yeah,
Yeah.
don't recommend that. Nowadays you kind of
Skye,
you'd probably end up,
Island life.
to be honest, yeah, yeah, exactly. On Skye you could get away with that stuff, but yeah, I don't recommend it nowadays.
No, I wouldn't recommend it. Did you have any other arch enemies when you were a kid?
I've got to say there was one arch enemy in the village, which was the local policeman. Nothing to do with my machete wielding, but mainly to do with my bike. So
So how did that come about?
it just used to be. I mean, I just was keen on riding my bike, so I'd just be wheeling up and down the streets, did skids and wheelies, just as you do as a kid. But of course, the policeman didn't really take too kindly to that. So, and there wasn't much else to do for him. It was quite
Yeah.
a quiet beat. So,
This is just cycling on the road you had a problem with, or were you actually going on to things?
I mean, it might have been like jumping in some flower beds and landing in the flowers, and sometimes, it wasn't like. I was just being a kid in the village, and I mean, there was one time I jumped like a teddy in the middle of the road, and he comes after me with the blues and twos. All my friends scatter. We're hiding behind the bottle bag, looking over, trying to do a runner, and he comes screeching around the car park and jumps out and pulls my bike from between my legs. But we can read about it.
Pinned up against the wall.
Yeah, exactly. I got my rights read to me. So
So what
that's
age?
what happened. That's what happens when you're 13.
What, so 13 you got your rights read?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Right.
So
Straight
I
at
went to
Bopton.
straight at Dunvegan. Yeah, exactly. But that's
So-
what happens.
From the moment that you sort of decided to start riding your bike and throughout that time learning new tricks, etc., is there anything that scares you about riding?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, if you're not scared, you're not doing it right, or you're probably not progressing in some ways. So, yeah. I mean, nowadays I'm having to deal with sort of fear, probably more than I used to in some ways, because I'd be riding every day like I do in Glasgow when I'm home.
So you have less fear. You had less fear when you were younger than you do now.
I think so, yeah. I mean, I was riding kind of differently. So you just be out there, I mean, if you think back to Dunvegan, there'd be times when I'd be on top of the bottle bank in the car park just beneath my house, and psyching yourself up, trying to drop off on my rally burner. My friends would be watching, like, probably scared for my life. I'd be scared for my life. But nowadays it's kind of part of my job to be almost in that situation. My friends looking on, they've maybe built the setup and I'm having to ride it, so it's it's a funny situation. But
So do you think that the fact that your pals like other flatmates like John,
yeah,
being there and building the stuff, does that put more pressure on them?
I mean, sometimes if you've dragged them halfway around the world to go and like build some, whether it's a ramp between two rooftops in Gran Canaria, or getting them to build some supports in a building in an abandoned town in Argentina. If they've put the time in building that stuff, then I'm kind of one to kind of go through with the idea. I mean, it's my own ideas and my own sort of calculations on the risk and things like that. But yeah, you kind of just want to do it for the team that's involved.
So, you know, obviously with the book and the films that are, you know, you've done and have made you probably a more world-known biker. Would you say that there is another MacAskill that could rival the fame?
One of the MacAskill called Giant Angus MacAskill, who was 7'9", who lived in the 1800s, and my dad actually runs a museum about him.
So how's you know, what's he famous for doing? So he's the biggest guy.
Yeah, he's the tallest man to live without giantism, and he's famous for just doing all these feats of strength. And
so what are these feats of strength?
Like he lifted an anchor that was 2,300 pounds or something like that, and then I'm pretty sure he lifted a fully grown horse over a 4-foot fence. So I was a bit of a struggle, you know.
Has that been documented?
Yeah, well, I think it's in there. Pretty sure it's in the Guinness Book of Records. You know.
I wonder what type of horse it was.
I think it was a Clydesdale. Yeah.
A Clydesdale?
Yeah. It's not exactly good. I could lift a Shetland pony over a fence.
So where's this museum then?
It's in Dunvegan on the Isle of Skye. So
is that going to be?
If you're passing, you better stop in and go see my dad.
Yeah, you need to go there.
A cup of tea, you know.
So is that going to get, you know, an extension put on it? Like the bike extension?
It would be fun to display all the bikes in the film somewhere. It was something I planned to do a couple of years ago, but time is just...
You just decide to pile them in the flat.
Yeah, exactly. If anybody wants to come round to the Pollokshields Palace, then
you gotta reach over a bike to get to the sink.
You're extremely tall, and I'll give you that. It's
well, I'm not the best either, am I?
Well,
like I've got no issue with dishes. Like I'm pretty bad at the dishes.
That's fine, but compared with having just bike stuff everywhere, it's like literally. You try to go to the toilet, you have to climb over a bike.
You open the cutlery drawer, there's a hub.
Yeah.
Grease in the cereal.
Yeah, exactly. What can you do?
But that's
all
life,
the
isn't it?
All the spoons are bent from using this tire lever.
So, in terms of, you know, moving from Skye to, you know, somewhere like Glasgow, where do you see yourself kind of settling down, or is there a city where you think I want to go there?
It's tricky at the moment. Like definitely come to a point where, like, I feel like I've ridden a lot of stuff in Scotland. I feel like I've really wrung the ideas out of, you know, I remember doing a clip in 2010 with Red Bull called Way Back Home, and I thought that was going to be the last clip that I did after Inspired Bicycles in Edinburgh. This was the last thing I was going to do here, and it was going to be going all around the world to do different stuff, but I've been, you know, I've managed to really squeeze a few more ideas out of the place, you know.
Where next? Inverness, Ullapool. You're not living in Ullapool, have you?
The rocks up there would be pretty good, yeah. But I think, to be honest, I'd really like to go to Japan. I think it would be,
yeah.
You know.
I've never been, but
it
looks amazing.
Yeah, we should make a flat trip out there.
See, in terms of like travelling the world, have there ever been sort of random scenarios where you've ended up in the company of, say, someone who's like an A-lister or something when you're in this random situation?
Yeah, definitely end up. Definitely end up in some strange places with strange people over the years. Most recently, I remember having a drink with Bill Murray in Shanghai, which was.
I think he's my favourite human.
Yeah, just kind of he had like pretty sure he had a cane and a top hat on at the same time. That was a bit of an unusual night, and then.
Does he need a cane?
No, he's just.
It's
cruising.
part of it.
Yeah, he's just cruising. He's just like
he's
looking the part, and then also with like Tony, I've been in like a circle of conversation with Tony Hawk, Kevin Spacey, and Mick Fanning, who's a very famous pro surfer.
Is that the guy, the shark?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So I've been in like
I didn't know that.
A circle of folk over there. So it was in Abu Dhabi. That was kind of unusual as well. But
right. So that was an interview with Danny MacAskill with his flatmate
Myles Bonner. Chief.
Thanks.